Ready?
Ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast. Excited to kick this off. In fact, I got to figure out where I put that. Oh, it's over there. Let me grab the remote really quick. Talk to him for a second, would you?
Wow. It's funny when we're going back and forth and all of a sudden you throw me on the spot like that. Wow. I just like my whole train of thought went right out the window. Although I will say, I put in new boot laces this morning. I had the ones that are heavy duty, and they were tearing the skin on my finger every time I would tighten them. I put these in. Not only do I feel stylish, I have no longer serrated my hands.
Only thing cooler than new laces on boots? There's no laces on boots.
No laces on boots. I got
BOA
downstairs. I know.
BOA.
You keep saying it. I got to do it.
I love the BOA system, man. They're so cool. The first thing that I ever had that had BOA on it was years ago whenever I was a young snowboarder. I had a pair of Burton snowboard boots.
Yeah.
In fact, they might not have been Burton. They may have been Ride, something. I'm not sure. But had BOA system. And they were one of the first iterations. Like when BOA first came out, one of the first things that they were on was snowboard boots.
Yeah.
Super cool. Now, my release for archery hunting, BOA system, and then the boots that I wear, I've got two different pairs of boots that both have
Bows.
a BOA system.
Yeah. But much of my tack buddies like them now too.
They're awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They're awesome. As soft as it might sound, one of the points of getting up early in the morning, whenever it's super cold, and having to lace up your boots, something about it, like you just got this stiff, cold boot and these stiff laces and having to lace them and pull them together. The BOA system solves that, where you just pop it, dial it down, and you're good to go.
I'm old school. I suck. I still write checks. I still use cash, but I have gotten completely away from wax laces playing hockey. Because there's nothing, I played a few nights a week, nothing worse than coming off a frozen rink and you can't undo your laces because they're waxed, because they stay tight.
Yeah.
By the way, this episode is not about boot or shoelaces or BOA systems.
Well, why not? It can be a little bit.
Dude, we're gonna get after it today.
Boots, I think you got to get yourself a pair of good boots. It's essential, man. That's an essential piece of EDC.
I have so many boots.
I think that
I'm a boot. I'm the Imelda Marcos of the tactical boot world, and I guarantee you don't know who Imelda Marcos is.
I have no idea who Imelda Marcos is.
I love throwing out these little things. It's fun being exactly twice somebody else's age, and all my point of references are from the 70s, 80s, and 90s before Jared was born.
I was born in the 90s, so
yeah.
They're.
What are you pulling up?
I'm pulling up. Oh, check. All right, here we go. This is awesome. You're going to love this.
Am I watching this?
Micah, I don't think that you've seen this. And I didn't tell him what this video was going to be because I wanted him to see it for himself for the first time right here live on the Daily Carry Podcast. This is Warrior Poet Society on YouTube. This is epic, dude. You got to watch. Lock into this. Guy wakes up in the middle of the night. Because he hears thumping in downstairs, and he goes downstairs. He's sweeping the house. Watch this. Pay attention to where the light is. Follow the light.
Holy crap,
dude.
6, 7. Was it 8? Holy crap. All right. I'm impressed. He didn't hesitate at all.
Listen to him.
Is his wife? Is that his wife saying something?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it was him or his wife. Look, it's twitching.
Dude, that's actually a pretty big bear, too.
That thing's massive, dude. That's a black bear. It's not a grizzly bear, but that is a massive black bear. Is there another one? That's his wife.
That's a fair
That's
question.
His wife.
Wow. That was fast.
I don't know if it's going to show it again. Let me rewind it. Because we don't need to watch the whole video. Just going to really take note and detail. Okay, watch this. All right. You hear something in your house, okay?
Yeah.
You hear something in your house. You arm yourself. You're going to do a sweep. This guy goes downstairs. He's armed with some kind of an AR platform. Not sure if it is AR-15, if it's 5.56, whatever caliber it is. Sweeping his corners, and then watch this. Look how quick he reacts. The bear lunges at him, dude.
Oh, it's coming, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Wow.
You can tell that this guy...
He's done this before.
This guy was ready.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's pitch black in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You're in your house, and you're going downstairs to investigate. You just hear this rustling or whatever. You hear somebody raiding your pantry or whatever this bear was doing.
Right.
You don't know it's a bear. You're just going downstairs, and then you have this huge, furry object lunge at you with some gnarly teeth. And you're thinking, dude, there's monsters are real.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a moment that I don't care how trained you are, that pucker factor would jump for a second.
No doubt.
That's a holy crap.
But the
right
way
there.
that guy handled that, man, that speaks to exactly what we're going to talk about yet again on this podcast. And this will be a recurring theme for life because that's what the Daily Carry is all about. Preparedness. Preparedness in any type of situation like this or like others. Because here's the thing. We're living in a world where you don't only have to worry about the bad guy with the gun.
Yeah.
You also have to worry about overpopulated as far as hunting goes, as far as animal population goes. You have to worry about poorly managed units, poorly managed conservation efforts. We've got, think about all kinds of places that have bans on hunting mountain lions, bans on hunting bears, and they're overpopulated, man. I think we'll see more and more bears, mountain lions breaking into houses. And clearly, that's a threat you need to be ready for as well. That bear was lunging at that guy, man.
And it was fast, dude. His clears were good, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he looked great.
Yeah. His movement was really good. He looked very controlled.
What it looked like to me, okay, this is just me. What it looked like to me is everybody listening, if you're a dude out there, you could probably relate with this. There's been some point in the middle of the night where there was a thud, there was a crash, whatever, and your wife's like, babe, you gotta go look. I heard something. That's what it looked like. He didn't have his shirt on. He just had his rifle. He's like, okay, I'll go check it out. And then he's clearing his corner. He's doing everything right. He's taking it seriously,
he did.
Which is important.
Yeah.
The time you don't take it seriously is always going to be the time where something goes wrong. You got to always take it seriously. But it looked like to me, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Is that what that would have been what happened in my case? It would have been Sarah's nudging me, babe, get up. You got to go look at that. I heard something in the kitchen. I'm getting okay. I'll go. I got my rifle and my flashlight. I'm clearing, and then boom, a bear, right in your face, lunging at you, and then bop, 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 bop. That was crazy, dude. And the fact that it's all on video, I don't know how many people have a video camera just casually pointing in their staircase toward the kitchen or living room like that. But that was cool. That was cool for it to be on video.
I like it because he's got a. I'm guessing, seeing it for the first time, but I would always recommend to anybody put a camera at the top of your staircase, pointing down, regardless, because we have kind of like a quarter spiral on ours that goes down, and it displays the whole front room, the front door, everything. So because you got tactical elevation dominance at that point.
Makes sense.
So
I don't have that in my house.
He comes down the corner.
I live in a ranch house.
He's pieing the corner, and next thing you know, you got 500 pounds of furry. Dude, that was epic. That was fast too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he
laid that thing down.
Yeah.
Which, can you blame him?
Oh,
I mean, unidentified foreign object with huge teeth coming at you. Yeah, there's the saying in hunting. If it's brown, it's down.
Yeah.
Like, we're shooting anything, right? If you got, most people hunt, they've got a tag for everything. Bear tag, deer tag, elk tag, and they have it all simultaneously. So if it's brown, it's down. That brings this to a whole new meaning. This guy was like, dude, the way that he reacted and how quick it was, and his aim clearly too. Like,
sure,
he knew where he was putting those bullets, dude.
Yeah,
that bear, like, it was probably
dropped.
the first shot looked like it dropped him.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. It dropped fast. Well, and the thing too is it lunged. So when people go, I love Fail Army. Do you ever watch it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of the best channels out there because it just proves to you humanity is epic, and it's all things, right? Fail Army to me is awesome when the people get out to take the pictures. I don't know why I enjoy that so much when somebody walks up to like an elk or a moose or a whatever, and they think or a chicken. It can be a chicken. It doesn't matter.
Or a chicken.
And they just reach out like, we're trying to get Eric to pet the chickens. Like, pet the chicken, Eric. I'm going to pet the chicken. And you just know something's coming, but you don't know what that something is. You just know the attack is going to happen in some way, shape, or form. And then when it happens, you're like, that's that right there. That would have been deadly. Had that been no gun in his hand.
Yeah, no
you're
doubt.
doing jujitsu with a bear. If you know jujitsu.
Yeah, and believe it or not, guys, you're probably not the one with the best odds against a black bear.
Not 500 pounds.
Now listen, a black bear, they're smaller. It's not a grizzly bear. Like from a lot of stories that I've heard, I mean, there's even videos. Like I've seen videos of like little chihuahuas barking at black bears and scaring them off, right? So black bears usually will run, but if they're pinned in a corner like that,
yeah. Oh, he came at him.
oh yeah, if they are pinned in the corner and they have this jolt of fear or whatever it might be, or in the other case, if it's a sow with its cub, right? You got scenarios where you got to take those bears seriously. They've got sharp teeth, strong jaws, they've got claws on their paws, and they will come after you. You have to take it seriously, and you're not. I mean, what was it? Was it a mountain lion or was it a black bear? That story of the guy who choked one unconscious. I think it was a mountain lion. Yeah, it was a mountain lion.
And you could do that. I mean, mountain lion's got a more extended neck, easier to get your arm around, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would want to go one-on-one with it, but
No, I don't think anybody who would say that they would want to go one-on-one is just looking for some kind of a cool story to tell people. But which it is, you can just be honest, it's kind of a cool story that a guy choked a mountain lion out unconscious. But a mountain lion, the most terrifying part about that is that a mountain lion, you're probably not going to see it coming. It's probably going to come up behind you, and it's going to attack you from behind.
yeah.
That is the reality of a mountain lion. And most big cats, for that matter, even just regular lions, that's normally they're either stalking you, wait for you to go to sleep, and then they come up and they go pretty much straight for your neck right away. Or if they're attacking you and you are conscious, a lot of times they target from behind. Yeah, which is crazy.
Bears are pretty skittish. At least my interaction with them. Did you ever watch the dude that went up and lived with the bears and then got eaten by the bears? You ever seen that?
I don't think I did.
There was a guy that it's probably 15 years old now, but it was a guy that was like one. I don't know if it was him and his girlfriend or it was just him. I might screw this up, but I unequivocally know he went up and became one with the bears, and he lived in like the back country for like 3 months or something with them.
Yeah.
And in his last episode, he was like, "As you can see, I'm one. I'm one. I'm here. They're right around me. Like they're just walking around." And the next thing you hear is the guy. You just hear the guy screaming, and it's like,
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, he was definitely one with the bears at that point.
Yeah,
yeah, literally. Yeah. So I got a very short bear story in my house. So Jane is home. Dogs are going nuts. She lets them out the back door, and they go tearing around the corner. Jaina turns the corner, and there's a bear cub. And then there's another bear cub.
Ooh.
So
I'm somewhere.
Yep. And so Jane was like, the only thing she could think of was to get our dog. And I'm like, yeah, kind of let the dog go. Don't walk up on two cubs. But it ended up, all three of them were in our trash dumpster behind our house, had tipped it over, and they were gourmeting on Mexican or something. And and then they went over and pushed the gate open, literally, with force. And then they just walked down the street, and she filmed them as they walked away. But I'm like, don't go out there.
I mean,
I wasn't home, by the way.
I get it. I mean, I've had those moments with my dogs where, I mean, I've had a similar one where there was a bear outside, Zion was out there, and I'm like, all right, this is an American Bulldog. He's going to see something like that, and he's going to go for it right away. And I'm like, I don't want anything to happen to my dog. So I can understand that. And it's not only with that time that it happened with the bear, that was like a whole nother level. And I was like, man, this is kind of crazy. I actually do love my dog probably a little bit more than myself. Like, I don't know. This is kind of interesting. Yeah. But when it most recently happened is whenever we were camping, the whole gym on this gym camping trip, all those cows are running through everywhere. Dude, Zion will bark at the cows like he's going to do something about it, but he never does. But I've always been like concerned. He goes up to a cow like he gets trampled, whatever. I don't know, right? I mean, he'll be fine. He'll juke around him, right? It's just this feeling of I just don't want anything to happen to him.
Sure.
This cow came straight up to Zion whenever I was walking up the woods to take care of some business, so to speak, and Zion was following. And this cow comes straight up to Zion, right? And look, if you're watching this is Zion's face, and this is the cow. And the cow just puts its nose right up against Zion's nose. And if you guys haven't seen Zion, go watch the video on Pit Boss Grappling of Zion tackling Micah and getting the gun out of his hand. But Zion kind of looks like, these are all black cows. So Zion kind of looks like one of their young. So it's almost like this massive cow was sniffing Zion like, what are you doing? Whose are you? Who do you belong to, buddy?
You are not one of us.
And Zion's just looking at it, just like standing, just like frozen with fear almost. And I'm just like about to freak out. I'm like, Zion, be cool, buddy. And then the cow moves on. Zion just walks off, and I'm like, oh, cool. Nothing bad happened. But I definitely felt that sense of panic almost.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Well, Jana wanted to protect the dog. The problem was it wasn't our yellow lab. It was our blue heeler. And I'm like, honey, it's a blue heeler. Like, his whole life is about herding and running in circles around other animals. So he'll be fine. Please don't go out when you see two baby cubs. They ain't doing a solo,
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, two baby cubs with a mom somewhere around. But man, there's a lot of those videos where you see, even with cubs, like little dogs just scaring them away, chasing them off. There was, I think, one with a French bulldog.
There was. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, there was one with the French bulldog out there.
It just goes nuts.
Dude, you don't mess with the French bulldog.
Yeah.
Though. They got that urge to overcompensate, right? Yeah. We have a French bulldog, and that French bulldog, for the longest time, we could not keep him even in the same proximity as Zion, as the American bulldog. Now listen, the French bulldog's name is Rocky. Okay, it's pretty fitting.
Sure.
Right? It's not the size of the dog; it's the size of the fight in the dog, right? And there was so many times where they would accidentally get together, and Rocky would just go after Zion. Like, I remember him latching on at one point to Zion, and Zion's got some really loose skin. He's bulldogs. He's got some loose skin around his neck. And Rocky just latches onto him, and Zion's just wiggling his tail and just like looking, and then there's this French bulldog just swinging off of him as he's turning his head, and Rocky just has that crazy little dog. But here's what's really funny. As we moved into the house that we're living in right now, a couple months ago now, somebody was working on something at the house, and Zion was in the garage. The fence hadn't been built yet. They weren't outside. So Zion was in the garage while we weren't there, and somebody was working on something in the house. They put Rocky in the garage. We got home. Zion and Rocky are in the garage. Now they're just best buds.
They just figured it out.
Something happened in that garage, man, that I don't think that we'll ever know the extent of.
That's good.
But something happened to where now they're friends. Now they can hang out with each other, and they have an accord. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Rocky submitted Zion into submission or the latter, or if Zion submitted Rocky. But something happened, and now they're buds.
That's funny.
Interesting.
So we're gonna dive into our be ready, be prepared thing. But I got to share. So we had a neighbor 10 years ago, 2 houses down, tiny little, I don't know, a little fluffy dog, whatever. Yap. And they had 2 of them. And they come home one day, and she comes over and knocks on my door. And she says, "Hey, have you seen our dog?" I'm like, "Nope." And she goes, so we kind of look around. I help her out. No trail, no nothing. She goes, "I think somebody stole my dog." And they're like, I don't know what kind of, but they were very expensive. I know she spent several $1,000s per dog. And she's heartbroken, right? Like, it's your dog. I get it. Totally get it. And it's probably the next week, our neighbor next door to her came over and said, "Hey, I don't know if you've noticed, but at night, the guy that lives next door to you, there's a massive owl sitting up on his peak at night, like all night long."
Yikes.
I was like, oh, hadn't noticed that. Monday-ish morning, 5 a.m., I get up to go out and do my typical workout or run, whatever I'm going to do that morning. And I walk out the front door, and I hear this little yap dog. She's let him out. It's 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And all I could hear was the whoosh of wings.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And then you hear, and that was it.
Oh, that's awful.
And she comes running out the door, and she's like, and I had to tell her. I was like, I watched the owl get the dog. And there's nothing, I mean, and by the way, owls are big.
Oh, dude.
This thing was big.
Owls are genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, I mean,
If
it
you
was
really take a hard look at them.
Yeah.
They're terrifying.
Hit grabbed this dog. I mean, like he was probably 30 feet from me. bam, gone. I mean, it was just as
Yeah.
fast, and that I was like, well, there's where both your dogs went.
Dude, something about owls. I'm telling you, we've got family in Alaska, and they've got a farm, like a homestead type of a farm, and they showed me like a picture, might have been a video. The owls, whenever you've got turkeys, the owls will fly in. They'll just lob the head of the turkey right off.
Yeah.
And they leave everything. Just lob the head of the turkey off, like for fun.
For fun, yeah.
Like for sport.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
something about owls
they're
is just like unsettling. I don't know.
He would sit up there. I watched him for a couple weeks, and he would sit up there at night and talk. And just, I mean, I don't know who he's talking to, but they're loud.
Who's next? That's what he's
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Who's next?
He was big, dude.
Whose head am I going to lob off next? Whose dog am I going to kill next?
Some pretty cool pictures. So yeah, Jane was freaked out because we'd had Skipper at the time, and Skipper's he was a 105-pound yellow lab. He was big, and she's like, "Should we let him out?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's fine. He's 100. He's twice the size of that owl." But yeah, got both our dogs.
Man,
Yeah.
Well, so apparently we have we got to be prepared for
prepared.
aerial threats
Yeah.
as well.
You gotta-
Not just bears.
Gotta watch out, Skynet.
Not just bears. We got to be watching out for Skynet too, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Man, well, it's good to have a little bit of a more lighthearted conversation for a second, and have a reflection on somebody who did a good job of being prepared to protect his home from any threat. It's not like we can't just be one dimensional, and that's really cool to bring up as a point because I love to mention that almost every time that I teach jujitsu is that we want to make sure that we're not one dimensional. Whenever we're grappling, whenever we're practicing, whenever we are rolling or sparring, if you're one-dimensional, then you're predictable. So what I mean by that is the way that jiu-jitsu works, a lot of people have likened it to the human game of chess, that you have to become 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps ahead of your opponent, and that's how you win.
Yeah.
In jiu-jitsu, that actually can be broken down into a much more simple fashion. Like, it can be very overwhelming whenever you're first learning jiu-jitsu. There's so much to learn. You got to just learn the positions, the different positions, how to get to those positions, how to fight out of bad positions, all kinds of information. But what I really try to encourage is there's new students that are just starting to figure things out, is just learn 2, maybe 3 moves from each position and learn how they work back and forth. That's how you learn this game of not being one-dimensional, but 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. You're not just going for one thing. You're going for this one, and then if that doesn't work, I go for this one. And if that one doesn't work, I go back to the first one. Or maybe I go to that third one that I learned later down the road, right? But it's just learning usually 2 things. If you can learn 2 things and you learn how to do it back and forth, you can just be super stubborn a lot of the times, and you just keep on going for one or the other until one of them works. And this guy was prepared not just for a bad guy with a gun. This guy was prepared for any type of a credible threat lunging at him as he's clearing his house.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was very, very good look at somebody who was very clearly prepared.
I really like the fact that he was, I mean, there are people man, as soon as I say this, gun guys are going to go, what? And then there's other guys who are going to go, yeah. It's always a mixed bag. I like the fact that he was barrel down. There's some guys that teach to move barrel up. So if you come around the corner, like you're up here and you're protected if somebody goes to hit you in the face. I struggle a little bit with, I mean, there's a concept behind it and there's a reality to it for sure. But had he not been barrel down, he would have had to acquire that. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't have acquired it quick, because seeing it only twice now, he was on point. I mean, he moved well.
Yeah.
His he pied everything he needed to pie. He turned the corner, bam, 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 it's on. But he was already on target without running high. I struggle a little bit with when I see guys running corners just straight up. You're more worried about the thing coming around the corner than you are the actual threat that's going to shoot you. So I like to keep my point is I like to keep my barrel in the direction of where I'm going to shoot.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Not pointed at the ceiling. So.
No doubt. And he did a good job of not keeping his barrel just like where it was fit. Obviously, I mean, he had a light on the end of the weapon, so that helps too.
Oh yeah, he's clearing.
That helps give total purpose of where you're pointing, and while you're clearing corners, all that stuff, keeping it pointed in the direction of where there could be that threat coming from. but he did a good job, to your point, of keeping it down, but toward the direction of where he thought something could be.
Right. Well, you see a lot, if you watch a lot of, especially in the time frame I grew up, a lot of the 80s action shows, Miami Vice and I don't know, whatever, Magnum PI, Charlie's Angels, all that stuff that we grew up with as kids. They were almost always pistol up going around a corner.
Oh, yeah.
They jump and then they point, right? I am very much a protective Sewell down. So Sewell, but I'm over the top because I keep my martial arts incorporated in my gun. But I like protective Sewell because I'm always on target. I'm always right here.
Yeah.
If I got to come here, first of all, natural draw is from down here up, not top down.
Right.
Especially pistol. I mean, I watch guys do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so dangerous.
It's just so cool, so cinematic, man. Whenever they're out, they run up to the corner.
Yeah.
And then they got the close up on the face, and then they turn the corner.
It's nothing better than running security trainings, and I'm watching these guys run with their pistol across the lobby of a church where there's going to be 90 people standing, and all you see is a gun in the air coming across the lobby, and I can put mine behind my hand and walk through the lobby, and nobody will ever even know that I had a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, there's two schools of thoughts to it, but I am just not a pistol up kind of guy. If you're so worried about getting punched in the face or hit, then you've just not been punched in the face. That's my philosophy.
Why don't you clear and show on video what you're talking about so people can see? I think that's a good concept.
Lordy be. So, are we on me?
We are on you.
Well, then I got to go this way, so I'm not at you. So Sewell, you're coming in and you're pushing out. I run protective, so I bring my hand over the top. And the reason I bring my hand over the top is when I come up to a corner and I'm stopped, I'm always ready to be on point. But my draw is from here, and then I fold my hand over as opposed to bringing my hand in. I bring my hand over because I want the ability to block. So if I am going around a corner, I may be down here on target with this up, so that guy that comes around the corner with the baseball bat or the whatever, I'm taking it to the forearm.
Yeah.
The same way you would in a knife fight. So you go to protect yourself, hands up in the face. But if they got a knife and they're coming at you, turn your hands around. You don't want your artery getting cut. I want my forearm getting cut. If I'm going to take a cut, I want to get a cut to the forearm. I don't want to get a cut to the artery and bleed out. Same principle here. I've got my gun, so from draw, I'm already on target, literally, and then I can push out from there. So I just call it protective Sewell because I want to protect my weapon, protect my space, at the exact same time be able to find my target. Now, if you're up here, then everybody can see it, and you got to come down.
Also, let me, from a hand-to-hand standpoint, whenever you put your hand in the air, I'm going to switch to cam 5 over there so that we're on the set so that people can see me too. Whenever you have your hands up here, right, the amount of leverage that somebody has if they do turn a corner and they're right in your face.
Oh, you're going.
The amount of leverage that they have to pull your hands this way and push that gun this way up your hands. It's ridiculous. You're giving them way too much leverage. You're giving them way too much advantage if you have your gun up here versus if you're down here. You can easily bring your elbows in. This is a strong point for us. Up here,
super weak.
This is pulling everything back. Not good.
We have a guest.
We do. What a lovely
we
guest
have. We have a very nice guest that has just entered unannounced into our podcast studio. Tried to come stealthy up the stairs.
What do you need something? Oh, we just got started.
Are you being serious?
Yeah,
we just.
But do you want to come
recording.
over and put headphones on?
Yeah. What's going on? What?
No.
You okay? You need me?
No, I'm just stressed out. I might be recording.
We're totally. This is as live as you get right now.
Why don't you just come tell everybody about it, Sarah? Well, all right. I guess. Listen, I'm going to be a good example. Good husband.
Yeah,
we're going to pause. We'll be right back.
We'll pick right back up where we left off. You won't even know the difference.
And we're back.
And that was. It feels like it went by in 2 seconds on video. In reality.
Yeah. Listen, we've got a lot of stuff going on, and we're living in a crazy world. And exactly what we just now had to take a minute to discuss is exactly what we're talking about on the episode today.
100%.
Anyways,
thank you for the impromptu. What am I looking for? That was not scripted, is what I'm getting at.
no, it was not.
That was not scripted at all.
That was a moment of legitimate concern, and Sarah wanted to talk about some things and some logistics, and that's a good thing. What we're talking about today is preparedness, and Sarah's wanting to make sure that we are adequately prepared and we have systems in place to make sure that everybody here at our facility remains safe and remains in good care.
So here's the part. I don't want to miss this at all. I sat down, didn't know what you were going to show. You pull up a video, you show me the bearer. We're talking about the tactics, how the guy does it. I set the gun down. You're saying something, and in the corner of my eye, I see something move. And then I see something else move. And you guys can't see it from my angle, but there's black covering over the top windows up here, and there's a light right underneath it where it's not covered. And all I could see is this bright light, but there's a shadow, and I see a head. Because she crawled up the stairs.
Yeah,
she didn't walk up the stairs. And I was like, what am I looking at? And I started to move, and then she turned and I saw, oh, it's Sarah. But she was like literally doing this other stuff. Like, what? Because she's wearing all black. All I could see was a black shadow in the background.
Oh, man.
I was like, there's somebody stalking up the stairway.
I have to tell her she's got to be a whole lot more careful. She can't catch us by surprise like that when we're watching videos of dudes
she could have died.
Bears.
She could have died. It's not just a fire,
Sarah.
It's not just a fire hydrant.
We should put a fire hydrant up here. Maybe she'll tread a little more cautiously. Probably not.
We got to get a sign for her. In all fairness, we really do. Her and Jaina, since they came up with it. Well, really, Sarah came up with it. Jaina in front of it. When she said, "I could have died," with the whole fire, when she hit the fire hydrant, I could have died, Jared. The look on Jared's face. So it was so funny because Sarah comes back. I don't know where she was going. She was going somewhere.
Okay. Listen, she was running an errand for me.
She was running an errand.
It was a morning of a very busy day because we were running a pit boss tournament
and a bad snowstorm.
And I asked her, "Could you please go get some more ice packs? We're out, and I need to make sure I have them ready for competitors." So she was running to Walgreens.
Yeah,
doing a favor for me, but she took my truck. I didn't even know that she took my truck. Yeah. I don't know why. Even to this day, I don't know why she took my truck. She could have taken her Jeep, shorter wheelbase, would have done better in the snow probably for her anyways. She took my truck.
Yeah.
She didn't tell me about anything that happened until after the tournament was over that day, which was good.
Hang on. This is a great story. And I can say this because I've now lived a fire hydrant the day or two after, a week after, whatever it was. But she took your truck. She comes back. Jaina comes in. She says, "I need to talk to you for a second." I said, "What's up?" She goes, "I need you to come outside. Sarah wants you to come outside."
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, "For what?" And she goes, "I don't know." She goes, "But Sarah needs you outside." And I'm thinking, well, it sounds like something's wrong. And I walk out, and Sarah is standing in front of your truck, and she's looking at me. She goes, "I need you to tell me it's going to be okay, and it's not that bad." And I went, "Okay, it's going to be okay, and it's not that bad." And she said, "Okay, now come here." And I walk around to the side of the truck, and she goes, "I don't know what happened, but I think a fire hydrant jumped out in front of me." and Jaina's standing here, and Jaina's got both of her hands on her face, kind of like, oh my gosh. And Sarah's looking, she goes, "What do you think?" I said, "I think it looks like Wolverine took his claws and went, and then went down the side of the truck." And she goes, "But it's not that bad, right? Like we can fix it."
I'm going to have to find the photo, and then I'm going to have to put it on the video so people can see.
So we got to that's where I was going to, is we've got to get the photo, a full-size photo. But the caption immediately
I could have died.
I could have died. And Jaina's like, "That's right. You could have died." So the girls went into empathy, and I went, "Jared is so going to kill you." So Jared walks outside.
After the tournament, after a long day.
This is hours later. We go outside, and there's the four of us. And I'm looking, I'm just in the background watching. I just want to see, because I've never, Jaina's never pulled up and said, "Hey, there's a hole in the side of your truck." Jared, I'm going to give a lot, dude, with such grace and such love and such humility. You stared at it. I mean, you had a question, but there was like, you were just so chill and even tempered and you were just kind of like, I mean, it's okay. And that, Sarah was so nervous. And when push comes to shove, a man, I'm really going deep with this for a second. A man who honors his wife and loves his wife can forgive pretty quickly. And at the end of the day, it was just sheet metal and it got fixed. And we've had a good laugh out of it. And now it's turned into a thing every time there's a thing, right? So when Sarah comes around the corner and she starts to slip, or she spilled the coffee on the set that day.
Yeah.
She's, I could have died. You know, now it's just become the funny tagline. So we got to get a picture of the truck.
Absolutely.
And underneath it,
Gonna make a plaque.
I could have died. So that's the backstory to the Sarah thing. Mine was a week later, I'm at Red Robin. I go to leave, and there's a piece of rebar sticking out of a side of the curb. My tire catches it, and it picks the entire truck. It picks it up like 2 feet off the ground. It's like I drive over it, and it throws me up onto an island into a fire hydrant.
That's crazy.
And I came back, and I saw Sarah literally that day, and I said, "You're not going to believe this. I could have died." She said, "Well," she was texting or something, and she says, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I hit a fire hydrant." She goes, "Oh my gosh, really?" And I went, "Yeah." And I knew she wasn't listening to me because the conversation came up like 3 months later.
Just a few weeks
It's
ago.
like, I never knew that you hit a fire hydrant. I'm like, yeah, like with like
You don't remember the uprising where the fire hydrants were literally coming to get us?
always be prepared. All right, let's get into it. We got to
Let me just make sure to say one more thing on the fire hydrants, okay? Because listen, I'm glad that Sarah's okay. I'm glad that everything turned out okay. But Sarah was in the snowstorm running an errand for me. She said the person in front of her hit the brakes and she slammed on it. She was sliding, so she had to deviate off the road, and that's where she slid into the fire hydrant. Now listen, I have to make sure to clarify this because this is a very important point to make with all the men listening out there with your wife and how to handle these situations. Because I can tell you right now, as soon as I saw the truck, oh man, I am telling you something, man. I had voices screaming in my head, screaming. I was fuming inside, right?
You had
But
to see
this
it.
is what being a man is. Whenever you've got that anger and that frustration, whenever you could just punch a brand new hole through the side of that truck because you're so mad, you don't. You
Yeah.
control yourself. You say, "What happened, babe? I'm really glad that you're okay. Are you sure you're okay?" That is exactly what we've talked about so many times on the show. That is chaos under control. That is capability. That is strength under control. Could I get aggressive and wild and scream and yell and be upset? Absolutely. Easily.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do in these kinds of situations. I'm saying that to make sure that people understand. It's not because I'm some kind of a exception or some kind of a perfect example of humanity. Believe me, I am far from that. What it is you have those thoughts and you subdue them. You control them. You keep those under your control. You stay in control. So that's important. I just felt like that was an important point to clarify because it's not like I was just not angry.
Okay, it is a huge port, and if you had seen it, it looked like somebody had taken a broken can opener and tried to open a can of tuna and just jagged the entire bottom of the door.
Thanks
and
for
it was
painting it again so vividly in my mind.
2.5 feet long and about a 4-inch wide deal. So Jaina, I got to go back in time. Real quick story. It's not a one-up. It's just you got to hear this because nobody will believe it, except for my wife was the witness because she created it. So 17, 18 years ago, 7:30 in the morning, I'm in the shower. I think we have an earthquake, Colorado. I'm literally standing there and the shower shakes, the water moves, and I'm like, holy cow, we just had an earthquake.
Man.
And finishing my shower, and it's probably 3 minutes goes by, and I hear, honey? And I went, yeah. And she goes, when you're out of the shower, can you come downstairs for a minute? Well, immediately, I'm out of the shower. Threw on my boxers or whatever I did, and I go walking downstairs. And as we're starting to walk out into the garage, she turns and looks at me. She goes, I just need you to know we had a neighbor, had 3 kids, and they're always running through everybody's front yard. Jana's backing, at that time, our Jeep Cherokee out of the garage. She sees in the side view mirror the kid, like all of a sudden is like right by the Jeep. And so Jana does this tiny little swerve, ever so subtle, and hits the brakes. So that's how this happened. So the short of the long, Jana's backing out of the garage. Kid runs behind her. Jana had not shut the driver's door completely because she was getting ready to go back into the house, but she just kind of had it pulled, and there was a lot of room there. Well, when she swerved, she let go of the door, and the door hit the inside of the garage wall, which 3,700 pounds of Jeep moving 4 miles an hour apparently takes the entire front fascia of your house and lays it in the front yard.
Oh.
And when I say the entire front fascia, I mean like the whole. So picture the garage, everything that goes around the garage, up the front, all in one physical force, kinetic energy, inertia, call it what you want. Whoever's a physics major, tell me how this happens. She hits it. It all comes down. The whole facing of the house lands on the ground. And the driver's door on the Jeep, you know what happens there? It goes to the front fender, the opposite direction. So we have tore the door off the Jeep and the front fascia off the house. And Jana says she wasn't going 3 miles an hour when she hit it. So she could have died.
Yeah, it sounds like she could have literally died. Do you have a picture of this?
I don't know. I'll have to ask Jana. She's the picture queen if she took it or not.
Hey, if you it's only fair. If I put a picture of Wolverine putting a hole in the door of my truck, we got to put a picture of your front fascia of your house being torn off.
So here's the to me the best part of the whole story, and we got to get into the podcast. We called him Q. His name is Matthew. He was probably 2.5 at the time. He was the kid that ran behind the Jeep. And I as I come out, I see the front fascia of the house on the ground, and it's in kind of some different pieces, and the Jeep door. And Jana just left it right there, so it's literally just sitting there. And I come around the corner, and Q has these big blue eyes, and he's standing, and he's like staring at the front of the house, and he's just looking back and forth. And then I turn and look, and his 2 brothers come out, and they're like, "What did you do?" Oh, they blamed Q, and Q just
He's crying.
Yeah, and I'm like, "It's okay, buddy." And Jada's like, "Come here, it's okay." And I'm like, "You just took the front of the flipping house off. Are you kidding me?" And the Jeep.
Oh man.
But we laugh now, right?
Life happens.
Yeah,
Life
I don't think
happens.
actually either one of us even remotely got upset over that. I called a buddy of mine who was a civil engineer. Sorry, just turning that toward you. Civil engineer, and he came over and lifted. We ended up having to lift a portion of the house back up and fix it. And
Whoa.
yeah, it was a big deal. But he was Johnny on the spot, man. Charged me $100.
Wow.
$100 to come over and lift the house back up, and then we
That's
just
a blessing.
refaced the house. Yeah, it was amazing.
You just had to.
The door was the most expensive part of
Really?
the Jeep. Yeah.
So you just had to use some Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, duct tape, Velcro. Great story, though. So be prepared. Where were we at before Sarah tactically
Hey, man,
crawled up the
as
stairs?
far as I'm concerned, this has already been an incredible episode. We've covered a lot of really good stuff, but really, I think the meat and what we were really going to start to get into is that with everything that's been going on crazy in the world, it's really, I think, made a lot of people have this feeling of not wanting to be alone. You know, I've been trying to do my part, texting a lot of people, just checking in on everyone, making sure everybody's doing okay, making sure everybody knows that they're not on an island, they're not alone. This has definitely brought a lot of people back to the mat, back to jiu-jitsu.
True.
Not that, I'm trying to make the situation all about jiu-jitsu, but what jiu-jitsu does that other things can do as well. I obviously am very biased to jiu-jitsu, and I think that jiu-jitsu is one of a kind. I don't think that there's anything like jiu-jitsu in this world. But bringing together a community where people just know that they're not alone, they can surround themselves with like-minded individuals, even sometimes individuals who may not be like-minded, but you know that we can share something in common.
Right.
Jiu-jitsu. Right. And in a place like the Rock Jiu-Jitsu team, most everybody here knows that we are a faith-based community. So most of us have faith in common, and then we have jiu-jitsu in common. And so with everything that's been going on, we've seen definitely a lot more calls, people interested in coming in, getting prepared, training, making sure that they're capable, ready, wanting to be able to defend themselves, defend their families. We've had a lot of people coming in for those reasons. But we've also had a lot of people that, whether they just got busy with life, they just got busy with things outside of the gym, haven't seen them in a while, and now they're showing back up. You know, these kinds of things I feel like just has a way of pulling people together, and for some people back together in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
Because we're all wanting to make sure that we have each other's backs. We're not alone. We're preparing. We're sharpening each other every day on the mat. But we're also building that community that means so much to everyone. And that's what jiu-jitsu is. And that's one of the biggest reasons that jiu-jitsu is so much different from other things. Like, you can just go play a pickup game of basketball or racquetball or pickleball or whatever. And a lot of times you go do that, you're never going to see those people again. Maybe there's 1 or 2 people that you see whatever night you go, they're there, right? But a lot of people, they just come and go. In jiu-jitsu, you really have this strong community where you know these people. You get to know these people. And whenever you find the right gym, you find the right spot that stands for some of the same values that you stand for, it can go a long way of just making you feel a heightened sense of support.
Yeah.
You feel this support system. You know that you've got people that have your back, you know.
Yeah.
Even for the vigil that for Charlie Kirk, the memorial live stream vigil at the gym, being able to announce it at the gym and tell the guys at the gym and say, hey guys, we want everybody here. We want to make sure that everybody, you know, most likely everybody's going to be watching at home alone anyways. Let's come together and let's watch it as a community and make sure everybody knows they're not alone, but also come for backup, you know, not because we expect anything to happen,
Right.
but if anything were to happen, you know, we have each other's backs.
Yeah.
If anything, you know, even just something like as simple as somebody just coming and causing a scene, causing a ruckus, even if it's not necessarily violent, but it's just somebody coming to harass, right? Well, this is private property, but we still have to have the manpower to be able to escort people off the property, right? So just having that support system, a community, people know, hey, you need something, I'm there. And I constantly tell people on the team that. I say, if you ever need anything, let me know. And people who have actually tested that, they know that I'm not just saying that. They know that I mean that.
Right.
Anything and everything that I can do to serve the community, to help people, I want to do that. It's not because of anything other than I genuinely want them to have that support and that community that I've had growing up since I was 14, where I still have some of the exact same friends since when I was 14, started doing jiu-jitsu. One of them's about to come in December. Thomas is about to come join the team, and he's going to be here full time. And I'm really excited for that. So the community and all the strengths, all the best parts of jiu-jitsu that I had growing up, that meant so much to me, that I've always said was a godsend into my life. There was the preparedness, the confidence, the discipline, the strength, all of that stuff, but then also the community. But now having the gym here and being able to really integrate faith and have this be a place and a community that's not just jiu-jitsu, but it's also Jesus and jiu-jitsu, that's just something I'm incredibly excited about. And it's amazing to see how far the Rock Jiu-Jitsu team has come in the 2 years that we've been open in this location and the community that's come together.
Well, I think it's epic, and it's clearly a family, and I'm humbled and grateful to be invited into it. And I think I said in the last episode, I got back into my first good role the other day. Excuse me. And I mean, you hit the mat immediately. The camaraderie is there, the relationship is there, the family is there. You just feel it. It's amazing. And to your point, it's like nothing else. I will say that. I want to deviate for just a second. Something that somebody said, and it really hit me yesterday. They reached out and they said, "Hey, I'm on episode 26." So they were like one episode away from where we were at the time. And they said, "How are you doing what you're doing?" And the reason I'm bringing this up, they said, it's like, I love. You guys you're kind of talking about everything, and you got obviously the focus is on the everyday carry and what's on your person and carrying your cross and carrying your scripture, and then how you're carrying the weight of the world, and that's what they focused on, was the weight of the world. Like, how are you carrying this? And I'm like, well, at times I'm not. It's not easy. I mean, it's hard. And right now, since a week ago Wednesday, with Charlie Kirk. It's just to me, it's not only has it changed the world, positive and negative, because there's people reacting on both sides. I think it's awoken something in people. And when I go back to the very beginning of when we were like, man, we should do a podcast, like before the mezzanine, before any of this stuff, we should do a podcast. We didn't go, hey, what do you want to talk about? Or, hey, what do you want to do? We were just like, we should do it. Which tells me, at the time at least, let's go enter into something and get after it. Mm-hmm. And then we talked about, because we knew each other's convictions, we knew our hearts, we was able to measure our faith. That was easy to say, well, let's incorporate that. And then we've told the story about how the Daily Carry name came up, what your epiphany on that. Fast forward to now. When somebody says to me, how do you guys do it? Because essentially what they were saying is, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared of what's happening out there. I want to have a voice, but I put something out there and I just immediately get attacked. Immediately. And I know this person, and what they put out there is not something that's divisive or controversial. It's just in general stuff. And there's just somebody waiting to attack. And I said, look, you're going to get, you could order food from a restaurant and be into a full-blown throwdown with somebody, and you could walk into a place and mention faith and be into a full-on throwdown. You could go buy a car and negotiate over price and be into a throwdown. It depends on your attitude, the other person's attitude, what the subject line is. I don't think really matters. It's how you step into it. It's how you receive it. And that's why I was joking about the truck, because you said something I didn't know. Like, you were just hot inside. But the way you handled it was the polar opposite. And to me, having to put a voice out, to put your feelings and your thoughts and your convictions out there, I mean, it takes a little bit of courage. I don't know how you feel, but for me, I actually feel relaxed when we're doing this. And when I walk away from the episodes, regardless of what we talked about, I always feel good. Like, I feel like there's something that's out there. And if somebody wants to come back and challenge that, let's have a rational conversation about whatever it is. So when we have the vigil come Sunday, you know, Charlie Kirk, that stadium's going to be full in Arizona, right? It's probably going to be standing room only. I'm hoping other churches around the country and places do the exact same thing, because it's the reason this person came to me is they feel that the attack on them is the attack on America right now. It's what happened to Charlie. It's that we're going to strip away your life, your freedom, and your ability to be, so that we can control what it is that we want in you. And you've got to not be afraid of that.
Yeah.
That was a long-winded way for me to say, just be brave and be firm in your stance and firm in your belief and your convictions.
Yeah.
That's why it's easy to sit on a podcast and talk, because I don't fear anything. I mean, I'm just not afraid of anything.
Yeah. You know, I think that people, if you've been following for any length of time, or if you're a new listener and you go back and you watch some of the first episodes to now, you're seeing in real time how we're growing into this. It's not like we just had it immediately figured out. Yes, we knew what we were going to talk about. That's why we never had a conversation of like, hey, what is this podcast going to be about? We knew.
It was easy.
We knew. We didn't even have to worry about any of that. So, but you have seen in real time us learn how to actually have a conversation, carry a conversation, talk about things. And really one of the biggest things is me and Micah were having conversations at length before we even ever put cameras and microphones on us.
Right.
And it was honestly, at least for me, learning how to just keep doing that exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about the cameras. Forget about the microphones. We're just talking. And if there were no cameras and no microphones, we would still be doing this.
That's right.
We would still be talking. And it just so happens that the cameras, the microphones, the podcast, thankfully, it's getting some traction. Thankfully, it's opening some doors for us to have some guests on, so we can have that conversation that we have been having with them as well, you know. And we're just, for those listening, we're just getting warmed up.
Right.
Like, we're just getting started. This is everything that's happened in the world and everything that is happening in the world. It's only paving a way for what we're talking about to be even more important than it ever has been to talk about.
Right.
We got to keep having these conversations, and we've got to keep on encouraging everyone out there that we need to talk. We need to be unafraid to talk. We cannot let any fear or anxiety that comes with the weight of the evil that's in this world keep us from using our voices, keep us from living and standing up for what we believe in. We have to make sure that we are not silenced. We have to use what God's given us. We have to follow out, seek his will, find the purpose for our lives. And to your point, we have to be willing to do that and be unafraid, even if it is to the point. And that's the reality that I think a lot of people, this is probably what makes them the most afraid. Well, I do it even though I might die. Yeah. You do. What do you think Memorial Day is for?
Right.
Why do you think we celebrate Memorial Day? It's not because a bunch of people died for nothing. It's because they died for something.
Yeah.
How much more so if we have a day that is Memorial Day where we're remembering those who have laid down their lives for our country? How much more important is it for us to be willing to do that ourselves? Lay our lives down, not just for our country, but for our faith, for what we believe in. If you don't believe in something that is worth in your opinion, if you don't believe in something that you're willing to die for, then you don't believe in anything. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
My opinion is if you truly believe in something, that is a conviction. It's not just I think this, and if hard times come, then I might not think it anymore. That's not standing for anything. And that's where the saying comes from. If you don't stand for anything, you will fall for anything.
Yeah.
If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. Right?
So true.
It's so important, more important now than it ever has been. Use your voice. exactly what me and Mike are doing. Don't let it just be me and Micah doing this. Anybody listening,
Yeah, kick off your own podcast.
have conversation. I mean, podcast, yeah, but more importantly, just do what we were doing even before the microphones and the cameras.
Oh, just talk, yeah.
Talk.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody. Have a conversation, whether they agree with you or not. We have to make sure that we are giving people time and patience, having conversations, because there's a lot of people out there, they're not out of reach. They could be reasoned with if somebody would take the time out of their day to talk to them,
Right.
to tell them, well, I mean, let's just take this for example. So many videos. Have you seen how many videos have been, they just clip something, or some of them even AI altered, trying to take what Charlie said and take it completely out of context?
Almost every one of them.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then thankfully, the internet being what it is now, especially on X with it, not being censored and stuff, you have people who will post the whole one with context.
Yeah.
And if you watch it with the context, you watch the whole video, then you can actually get the truth. But there's so many people with a big enough platform out there spreading false information to where a lot of the people that are following these individuals, they kind of follow blindly. They don't take the time to really sit down and watch the full video. They just watch what was already fed to them from the person that they were already following. That's the problem that we're dealing with right now, is I believe that there's a lot of those same people that if they were given the full video, if they were given a full explanation, if they were actually sat down and talked to, and they were shown everything, they could be convinced of the truth. It's a matter of having enough people willing to do the sitting down and willing to do the talking and willing not to just be people who just try to shove things down people's throat, but actually listen to where they're at with concern, with humility, with love. Listen to them and then speak the truth and love to them. I think that there's so many people in this world that are not out of reach. They're within reach, but we still have to have hope for them. We can't just give up. Even as much and as messed up as this world has been, and as much as there has been people rejoicing and celebrating over the evil in this world, those same people, there's a good chance with the right person in front of them, they could be reached. We can't lose sight of that.
Yeah. I think everything you just said really hits the nail on the head for me. Look, things worthwhile, in my opinion, and I don't mean categorically across the board, all things worthwhile are hard, but most things worthwhile take effort, take challenge, take commitment, take, fill in the blank. Well, I'll tell you what's easy. Eating. Eating is easy. I could go to any restaurant at any time, providing I got my money, and I could order anything, and I could keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And you watch somebody go into gluttony doing it, and they go, man, I can't believe how I got here. Well, it's because it's easy. What's hard is losing it, right? That's why you come in here, you get shredded, because jiu-jitsu works every part of your body. You go next door to Jacob in his CrossFit place, you see these people getting after it. It's because they want to be better. And you're walking out sweating and you're achy and you're like, but man, I feel alive. I feel good. Picking up the Bible and reading it is hard because there's conviction in it.
Well said.
Picking up and reading whatever magazine online or whatever thing, that's easy. It's easy to accept somebody's opinion or fun article or whatever. And it doesn't mean that everything you do in life has to be hard. It doesn't have to be. I said, I think in the last episode, I love fail army videos. They crack me up. I don't sit around and watch them all day. In fact, I don't sit around and watch them a lot at all. But if I'm bored at night and I'm typing something, and I do a lot of work at night, I do a lot of business work, about 10 p.m. to midnight, I get a lot of stuff done for the next day. Well, I'll put something on in the background. Sometimes I'll put on a podcast. Sometimes I'll put on a scripture if somebody's teaching. Sometimes I'll put on something funny. Sometimes I'll put on a movie. I watch those fail army videos just flippantly because they're funny to me. Like, I know it's going to be a goofy, dumb ending, and it cracks me up, and I just, whatever. So it's not hard to do that. But if I just sat there doing that all day and didn't do anything else, and I'm just absorbing myself and watching other people's demise, I'm going to have a really good day, but I'm going to have a really unproductive day. I'll have a funny day, but I'll have done nothing.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a balance, is my point. And at the end of the day, I think in most cases, the worthwhile things are hard. They are.
Absolutely.
Digging a hole is not easy. Getting a shovel and digging a deep hole is not easy. But if you're trying to plant a tree and you want to grow a tree, you need a big hole. Put it in the ground, and then something produces. Fruit comes from it. Growth comes from it. Nurture comes from it. Oxygen is created by it. It's easy to not go dig a hole. It is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the work's not even done after you plant the tree. You still got to water. You still got to take care of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's effort that goes into it. But the value at the end of it is something great.
Absolutely.
And that to me is that's I try to look at that through life with all things. It doesn't mean I'm successful all the time, but dadgummit, I try.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I want to be an example to other people. So when somebody comes to me and says, well, I don't know how you guys do it. Well, that's how I'm doing it. I'm digging a lot of holes
There you go.
in a healthy way
Yeah.
because I have to. They ain't going to dig themselves.
Very well said, sir. Great way to end this episode. I'm going to hand it over to you and you close us out.
I was not prepared for that.
I got to teach class.
All right. Well, Father God, as we get after it this weekend, I ask that you would be with us. This is an important weekend for so many people across this country. Vigils that will be held across the nation are not just for the loss of a man, but for the loss of freedom, for the loss of a voice, for the loss of the ability to feel safe, and so many other things that we can attribute to this. And as we watch the country spiral in more and more division, we ask that those that have a voice, each and every one of us take that stand and have our voices heard, and not in a fighting way or in an argumentative way, but in a loving way. And I also challenge those that when you are confronted, stand in the face of evil. Do not be afraid of evil. Evil will back down to you. But if you let it, it will cower over you, or you will cower to it. And I just ask that you do not do that. Don't cower to it. And finally, I would just ask your presence be here for Jared and Sarah, their businesses, all the people that will be here this weekend, not only for a safe weekend, but for a weekend that challenges us to reach inward, to reach across the aisle, to literally to hold hand in hand in a loving way those that might be broken or lost, to help edify them. And I ask that you just keep all of us in your comforting arms as we move forward into this weekend. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right.
All right.
Until next time.
Until next time.
I carry a gun 'cause this world's gone cold. A knife for the path when the stories unfold. But the one that leads me come fire or trial is the word in my hand with a leather-bound smile. It's the life that